Hey everybody, this is Pam with PamMarie.com, and I just wanted to come on with another video, and the topic is how to become a freelance writer. I wanted to come on and give you 20 tips that I have curated from a wonderful article that I read. I have a blog post up on my website, and I've linked it in the description. I've also linked the actual article in the blog post so that you can read it in its entirety, and I recommend that you read it. I thought the author did a wonderful job with just providing value to her readers about what it is to start in this field. She interviews 24 freelance writers, and they give their take and their advice on this industry. So it's a good read. But let's jump right in. Tips. The very number one tip is that you don't need experience. You don't need a degree to do this business. And I just think that is refreshing. I personally have a degree. I don't have a degree in journalism, but that is one of the things that haunt me. Do I need a degree? Am I a good enough writer to be a freelance writer? And if you notice, you'll notice in the blog post, if you take the opportunity to read it, that is the number one thing that I highlighted. You don't need experience, and you don't need to have a degree. An overall theme, number two, was choose your niche, meaning really drill down and become specific on the niche that you want to write for. One, because you become an expert in that niche, and by becoming an expert in the niche, you can gain more clients, you can demand more money. I just think that's a good idea. And another thing too is, it was an overall theme, is that when you do drill down on the niche, you get an opportunity to, hopefully it's one that you have a great interest in, because then that means that you will write about it without being burned out, or by the time you get burned out, you would have written a lot about it. That was another thing. It's inevitable that we'll get burned out as freelance writers, but hopefully it's later than sooner, and hopefully it's not because it's a topic that you are not interested in. So number one, you don't need experience. You don't need to be have a degree in journalism or writing or anything like that to do this business. And number two, you want to really drill down and be specific about the niche that you choose. You want it to be a profitable niche, meaning other people are writing about this niche, and there is competition. And the good thing about that is you want competition, because if nobody's writing about it, then it's a good chance that maybe it's not an interest for a lot of people. But if you can find that niche that you have a lot of interest in, mine specifically is how to make money online. Mine is how to age gracefully, because my body is changing now that I'm an older woman. I have interest in crafting and sewing, and I love how-to articles and DIY articles. So I don't think I would ever get burned out. I would go across that type of platform. I love digital marketing and learning about SEO and content writing, and how that works with the algorithm, and how much more it can become better in 3 months and 6 months. So to me, that's exciting. So find your niche. One of the other themes that I found is don't believe the hype about quitting your day job while building this business. This should be your side hustle. That's my ice maker. I'm making me some ice. This should be your side hustle until you can make it your full-time gig. So get realistic on what to expect when building and gaining clients. This does take time. And what I tell myself is that it is worth it, that in 6 months I will be much better off than I am now. And in 12 months, I'll be even more in a much better financial space than I was when I first started. So it's a win-win. Let me think. Trying to think of the different highlights. The full article, I'm not going to go into the whole 20 tips. If you want that, you can definitely click on the blog post and read it in its entirety. It's pretty thorough. It's really long form. I just highlighted the really important parts that I thought was good, like how to get clients, testimonials. They talk about getting testimonials sooner rather than later. And sometimes you can get those testimonials for, sometimes you can get those testimonials if you're willing to do something for free. For example, you can write something for family members who have a website, or you can reach out to organizations and ask, can you write for them locally in exchange for a testimonial? And then they talk about taking that testimonial and just posting it everywhere, posting it on your website, posting it on your LinkedIn, posting it on wherever to get that credibility and that validation. And I will say this, the one of the top 3 tips that has been a common thread and a common theme is to set up your own space online. That means coming up with your website, and that website should have your home page, your about page, who you are, and your blog. And your sample or portfolio page. That page becomes that place where people can find you and can hire you. What I also loved about this article is that they stress that when you do set up that website, that you don't spend a ton of time making it the perfect website, but that it's most important that you focus on getting the clients rather than trying to make your site look great. Now, I run into that a lot. My site, I'm always tweaking it, and I'm really trying not to be so bummed out because it's not perfect, but I'm human. So the website is up. I'm working on my samples. I've written a couple of things, and now I'm learning how to make it a portfolio page so that a person can click on it and see my style of writing. And I decided I'm going to add to it because there are a lot of things I like to write about. I like natural medicine. I like alternatives to certain things. I'm about to go down the path of possible hip surgery. So I'm going to be writing about that, the things that I find out. And I want those things to be up since I'm learning about them, I might as well write about them. So that's a good tip to think about. You can write these samples as an example on your website before you actually get the work so that people can actually see you. Another thing it talks about content mills. Is it worth it really signing up with places like Upworks, Fiverr? I have worked with WordGigs for years, and that's a content mill. Now, none of these places pay a whole lot, and you don't leave with your own clients when you work for content mills. Some of the advice was to stay away from them completely. Others were to start out with them until you get your own clients. And then lastly, I want to highlight, you definitely get more clients when you have your website up. You get more clients from your own website, but it does take time. So I recommend you take that little bit of information. If nothing you get from this is that it is doable, and if you're willing to put yourself out there, put yourself in front of your target audience, you can make this work. You are the unique component of it. Everybody's writing about the same thing, really, if you think about it. But it is Pam's perspective, and your perspective is what's going to make you different and unique. So hopefully you like that. Hopefully that is of value to you. If you found value in this, please go ahead and hit like, and don't forget to subscribe. But most importantly, don't forget to check out Katie Holmes' article that's in the blog post that I put up. to read it in its entirety with the interviews, the 24 different freelance writers. Until next video, y'all take care.